everyone, Liam here from EurekaCrystalBeads.com with another helpful beading video for you. Before I get started, just a quick reminder to go check out the rest of our channel, and if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and you'll always know when we're posting new content. Today I have a fun vintage-inspired earring for you that actually does use a vintage Preciosa crystal drop here, which is super sparkly and really versatile because of that plain clear color. But you can totally switch it up by changing up the color of what you put on top of it. I'm also going to show you not just how to wire wrap a briolette into place, but also how to do a fun little wired accent, which adds just a little bit more interest to this earring. So to go over what we'll be using, I have about 3 inches of 22 gauge gold-filled round half-hard wire. I have that beautiful vintage Preciosa crystal drop that I showed you. I have a 4mm Swarovski round crystal in rose. And then of course I have the other half of my little ear wire. As far as tools go, I'm going to be using some wire cutters, some round nose pliers, some chain nose pliers, and with a little trick, I am going to be using some beading tweezers. So I'll show you a great little tip for using those as well. So to get started, we're going to take our wire and we're going to put it through the hole of that crystal briolette. And you're going to have about 1 inch or so coming out of the other side. We're just going to take this wire and we're going to crisscross it right above the crystal. And you want where the 2 wires crisscross to be right on top of where the very tip of the briolette is. And what's nice is that using half-hard wire will really make this type of wire working much, much easier. If you're using a softer wire, like a dead soft, it will be a little bit tougher. You will struggle a little bit more to get nice tight wraps. The beauty of half-hard is that it does a lot of the work for you, which is why there is such a significant difference between those types of wires and why you should use one over the other. So now we're going to take our chain nose pliers here, and I'm going to take my long piece right at that X, and I'm going to point it straight up. So I have my short wire still going off to the side and my long piece going straight up. Here's where our tweezers are going to come in handy. A nice clean pair of beading tweezers is a great way to get into really tiny little spots, just like this, to grab our wire. Just grab nice and tight, and we're going to take our little tail, and I bent it now out at a little bit more of a 90-degree angle. We're going to start to wrap it, and I'm going to wrap it about twice around my longer piece of wire. One wrap neatly and cleanly after the other. Now my wire cutters are going to snip off that little bit of a tail that's there, and my chain nose pliers are going to tuck in any little bit of a sharp edge that's left behind, which will be inevitable. So definitely take care to check to see if you have a little bit of a sharpness there. Now what we're going to do is take our 4mm round crystal. Again, this is in rose. We're going to put it right onto our long piece here. And we want our loop going out to the side. So if we're looking at the front of our earring, we want to be able to look through that loop. That's going to determine the way the earring will face. And in this case, it will mean that the earring will face forward. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of a space before I make my bend. Just like that. So we've left a little bit of wiggle room here for that crystal, because that's where we're going to have our wraps go. Now I'm simply going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to form a loop. And you might have to shift your pliers a little bit to continue that loop all the way around. Make sure it's nice and centered. And now we're simply going to wrap it shut. So I'm going to sandwich my loop flat in between my chain nose pliers. I'm going to wrap twice, and then I'm going to continue that wrap right over the crystal and wrap once nice and tight right below the crystal. And that's our great little way that we get that nice little wired accent. Lastly, we snip this off. We tuck it in because we don't want any sharp edges that could get caught on hair or a scarf or whatnot. Right, so we have that nice little wired accent, which really adds such a lovely little bit of extra finesse to this earring. Now we'll go to the loop of our ear wire here and we'll swivel it open to the side with our chain nose pliers. Just thread your earring on, close it back the opposite way, and we have our lovely finished pair of vintage inspired earrings. Absolutely lovely. And again, super versatile. Just change up the color right above that big clear crystal briolette, and you can make a pair to go with any outfit. All right, folks, that wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Make sure to visit us on over at eurekacrystalbeads.com for all the materials I used in this video, as well as for any of your other beading and jewelry needs. Bye.